Native Americans have the highest rates of diabetes of any group in the U.S., and that's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and high rates of obesity, which has been linked to other health concerns like cancer and heart disease. Now, most people are aware this is an issue, but many struggle to make the changes they need to improve their health and avoid or control chronic illnesses like diabetes. The Indian Health Service has programs to address diabetes, but IHS is chronically underfunded and the future of a national diabetes program is somewhat uncertain. In this month's installment of our series, Reconnecting with a Healthy Lifestyle, we visit communities in Arizona and New Mexico on different areas of the vast Navajo Nation to learn how some individuals and professionals are helping Native Americans overcome systemic challenges that affect their well-being.
Gallup, New Mexico, a border town near the Navajo Nation, is home to many Navajo tribal members, including Pax Harvey. He's a motivational speaker and comedian and leads professional development workshops across the country. But the place he feels most at home is in the city gym.
I come from a broken home. I came from a home that was dysfunctional, a lot of violence, domestic violence, drugs and alcohol, being athletic, and sports began to be my outlet. And dealing with this pain and frustration and confusion and anger in my upbringing. And so I found myself in the weight room one day, and today it's my current outlet and how I deal with my stress, frustrations, anxiety of life.
Harvey's experience is not isolated. A task force convened by the U.S. Department of Justice in 2014 found that Native American children experience exposure to violence at rates higher than other ethnic groups. But for Harvey, at least, exercise changed his path in life.
I've never hurt my wife. I've never punched her. And because I told myself, I'm going to be a better dad than my dad was. So I tell the young guys in here that you can become a better dad by coming in here. And so a lot of them come back to me and said, thank you for sharing, because my wife and I are doing better. I'm spending more time with my family. And I tell them, you don't need to go downtown to have a beer when you're stressed. Come over here and pump some iron. You'll be fine.
But for many Native American families in communities like Gallup and on reservations and pueblos across the Southwest, finding a place to exercise can be challenging. That's an area of research for Dr. Tennille Marley at Arizona State University in Tempe.
It also includes having access to green spaces, so places to go outside to walk, for kids to play. Like, for example, there are no playgrounds in any of the communities on my reservation for children to play in. And there are some areas to walk, but there are things like dogs that are problematic. So you can't really safely be out and about and be physically active all the time.
Marley says she hears more tribal leaders and advocates talk about how to make streets more walkable and improve open spaces for recreation and exercise. But there's a lot of work to be done. Access to healthy foods is also a crucial part of helping people make lifestyle changes. But in many Native communities, it's challenging to find fresh produce that national health experts recommend. Heidi Gabalski at Native Americans for Community Action in Flagstaff, Arizona says it starts by being realistic about what's available.
It's about making just the better choices with what you already have. I'd rather have frozen vegetables or canned vegetables than no vegetables.
She says finding the best options also means getting creative at the corner store or making the most of commodity boxes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The food distribution program on Indian reservations now offers more healthy options, but those boxes still come with a lot of processed packaged items.
Let's say there's the fruit cocktail. Rinse it as much as you can because it's in heavy syrup. Let's get as much of that stuff off as possible. We've got flour and things like that. Do we have to fry it? Could we make dry bread instead of fry bread? Those things are possible. So we just kind of talk about, again, but what are they willing to do?
And she says preparing meals in advance is another way people can eat healthy on a budget. Lauren Anthony in Gallup found that meal prep, as it's known in health circles, works for him. He once weighed nearly 300 pounds, but lost the weight and has kept it off for years. He did his own research online to educate himself about nutrition.
We're going to prepare it up and make it into an awesome thing for everybody to eat. If you don't prepare for your day, if you don't prepare for your week, as far as eating clean, then majority of the time you're going to go pull off into some like fast food joint and end up eating something that's not good for you. Because the meal that I'm working on right now, this is going to be under 350 calories. which if you eat 7 of them would equal to 1 double Whopper from Burger King with the medium fries and a medium Coke.
Anthony says he always checks coupons at the grocery store to stay on budget. But a bigger issue is reversing attitudes about food and cooking, which health advocates like Anthony say is a broader community issue in Indian country.
I tease and poke fun and say I'm going hunting gathering, which means I'm going grocery shopping. But we don't go actually hunting and building our foods. And see, when we used to do that, you know, we would go out and build a fire, and a lot of our people don't know how to build a fire anymore, just without matches, you know. But if you do that, there's work put into that. You work into the putting in the hunt, you work into the gathering, you work into preparing the food, and then families, they create stories, but we don't do that anymore. We just go to the drive-thru, get our food, go home.
He now shares what he's learned with others in his community, but says people have to be ready to make significant health changes, which can be challenging if friends and family are not ready to change.
There was times where I felt like, yeah, I'm gung-ho about it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go for it. And then I run into some same friends again, and next thing you know, we're doing the same thing. And then I'm like, oh man, did it again. Why? And so a lot of times, you know, I just wasn't ready. And I think, you know, when people are ready, they're ready. And that's why I don't pressure people to do anything, because I feel like if they're ready for something, they'll say they're ready. And if they are, then I'll jump on it.
Meeting people where they are is also a key part of Brenda Charlie's work as an exercise coach in Flagstaff.
Look at that distance. Oh my goodness. PE kind of saved me in school. If it wasn't for PE, I don't know if I would have continued past high school.
She earned a degree in physical education and is currently studying for a master's in kinesiology. Charlie says growing up on the Navajo Nation gives her a unique perspective when working with Native clients.
I don't feel like a lot of people understand that the things that happen outside, how they affect the exercise. And because I'm Navajo and I know all about ceremonies, I know about how livestock can get in the way, I know how, you know, things can come up with family, you know, I have a better understanding, and so I have more patience.
Many of her clients are referred by a doctor after being diagnosed as diabetic or pre-diabetic. But some are seeking to avoid the health problems they've seen in their family or tribe.
I came from a family with diabetes, and of course I'm in that, you know, that I'm right there to, you know, if I don't take care of myself. When I go for my yearly checkup, I hear a lot of like, everything's good, you're healthy, everything's fine, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want to hear. Almost brings tears to my eyes, because I see a lot of family, you know, friends out home that are as old as I am or much younger that are already, you know, diagnosed with diabetes and other health issues, barely walk around, and I feel for them, you know.
Progress has been made in recent years to address issues like kidney failure through Indian Health Service programs, which focus on diabetes. But more Native Americans are becoming new patients every year. Charlie says she can help people move from a devastating diabetes diagnosis to a concrete plan for addressing it.
Exercise is medicine. So we would take a look at, you know, let's say somebody who has diabetes and say, okay, this person, the more proven methods to get their sugar levels down or to control their sugar levels is strength training. So we would start them on a regimen of strength training, and based on their fitness level, we would recommend 1 to 2 sessions, you know, up to 3 sessions.
But to truly change the health of entire Native communities in the long term, she says it's important to start looking at the fitness levels of children today.
Exercise is incredibly important for the kids. That's where you establish the foundation for the love of physical activity.
According to data released by the Indian Health Service earlier this year, rates of obesity in Native American and Alaska Native youth have stabilized but remain higher than children in other ethnic groups. Health experts say a combination of grassroots efforts in communities and professional guidance will be needed to ensure future generations have the tools they need to avoid the health problems of today. For New Mexico in Focus, I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
Correspondent Antonia Gonzalez is with us now to talk about some of the broader policy issues and history behind this month's story. Antonia, good to see you.
Hi.
Glad you're here. Absolutely. Now, in the series, you and producer Sarah Gustavus are examining grassroots health initiatives to try to draw out some new insights on what's happening behind the health statistics in Indian country. What did you guys learn?
So there are a lot of individuals in Indian country who are working on their own to, they see a problem and something that's worked for themselves that they decide maybe this will work for my family, my friends, other people in tribal communities, either in the border towns where we saw some of the individuals doing some work in the series. For example, grassroots efforts to address fitness. Different people are involved in and out of the gym. There are a lot of challenges for Native people who live on tribal communities with different social determinants of not having maybe infrastructure needed or a grassy area. But people are finding ways to overcome these different challenges.
I got to follow up to that. Why can't people just access preventative care through the Indian Health Services? What's going on there?
So there are, programs, and the Indian Health Service does work on preventative efforts, but like tribal communities across the country, here in New Mexico, as well as access to hospitals, different programs. And so we're looking at people who are taking that extra step and going that extra mile to try to take advantage and use what they have around them to help improve the wellness of Native people.
I mentioned in the opening the federal government and the relationship with the Special Diabetes Program has funded some programs aimed at prevention, but tell us more about why that program matters and especially why you're following federal funding for this program.
So the federal government has a trust responsibility to tribes and it includes health care. And so, like you said in your introduction before the stories, the Indian Health Service is chronically underfunded. And there's other challenges that go into that tribal leaders and healthcare professionals talk about. But one program in particular, you mentioned the Special Diabetes Program for Indians, was to expire on September 30th. But President Trump signed an extension giving it until December to come up with a plan by Congress to address that. Because a lot of programs use funding from the Special Diabetes Program to fund their programs.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Okay. What's the prognosis? Have you gotten any early word whether that 3-month extension is going to be extended again? Is there a possibility of the program being fully funded to its previous place? Or what do you think is going to happen there?
So tribal leaders, this is on top of their, one of the top concerns among them is getting funding for health care, among many other issues, housing, other issues, but definitely healthcare professionals, advocates, and tribal leaders are on Capitol Hill, and this is definitely one of the issues that they're advocating for.
In the reporting you guys are doing, the healthcare system for Alaska Natives is different, but I'm curious what are some of the lessons that came out of there for the model for prevention that are relevant to what you're doing here in New Mexico and Arizona as well. What did you find for the Alaska Native population?
So in Alaska Native people took control of their healthcare system, and so now they have a Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium, and in the sense is a model for tribes elsewhere, as maybe this is something that they could do, and also including traditional and cultural values into addressing healthcare needs, and that's definitely something that's going on in Alaska.
Really appreciate that. Antonia Gonzalez, Reconnecting with a Healthy Lifestyle. This series is wonderful. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.